Welcome back. The E-Plate, the English champion in Junior TKM, takes part in the elite final coming up next. I spoke to him earlier about his weekend so far.
It's been a very good weekend so far. Got qualified second in the festival, but a bit of a problem in the O-Plate. And then we won both our festival heats. Bit of a problem in the O-Plate, but we got the pace to definitely win this weekend.
And what is it about this track that you like so much?
I don't know, it's just it's definitely a TKM track, definitely. It's just fast and flowing, and you can definitely overtake really well at every single corner.
Okay, I guess that's what drivers need, isn't it? You've got good overtaking all over the place. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Zach Oates hoping for victory in the Junior TKM Elite Grand Final at the Maxxis TKM Festival. It's a prolific race. Everyone wants to win it. Zach Oates and Oliver Richardson, Connor Kearney and Spencer Lane at the front, Louis Harvey and Scott Smith rounding out the six. From Dale Whitaker, Ben Cox, James Morley and Charlie Flynn. And fortunately, Charlie Flynn has not got out there. He's got a mechanical problem at the start of the race, so he's not moving any further forward. Here we go. It's the race to end all races as far as these guys are concerned. They want to win it, and it is a very tough race indeed. Through they come in the first corner then, and a very exciting start already, but no problems at all for the number 5. He's come through in good stead. That is Connor Kearney. He has got through into second position behind the E-Plate. Zach Oates, the English champion, and then it's Spencer Lane up into third position. Not the best of starts for Louis Harvey. He's still there in the top 5, in behind the fourth place driver. That is Oliver Richardson, who's not had the best of starts, but there is going to be a very exciting race from here on in. 11 minutes and 23 seconds on the clock, and nobody has any clue who's going to win it.
This race, of course, in 2013, the Junior TKM Elite Final, the greatest kart race in history.
We've had enough straight away. Now, who's that that's gone? That's Charlie Gaillard. Dear oh dear, poor Charlie Gaillard. He's not had any luck at all in the 2019 karting season anyway.
But he's pushed off, I think, from the cart behind. Don't forget, guys, to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell as well, and get a notification every time we upload new content here on the channel. Oates clear by 4 or 5 kart lengths, Jake.
Oh, James Morley's got a front fairing penalty coming his way. Clearly the front fairing is already loose.
That was as a result of the contact going down into Kestrel Corner, possibly.
It does happen, unfortunately. If you're interested in the world of karting, if you're watching this thinking, I could do this, no problem at all you've got to do is head to abkc.org.uk. You can learn more about the sport, where your local club and circuit are, and how to get in the sport. And if you're close to Kimbolton and you're loving the action here, hkrc.co.uk. You can find out how to get onto the grid yourself. And next year, in 2020, it could be you going for the elite final. So, a nice battle in the midfield. That is Dale Whitaker trying to make his move on the inside to gain a place, and he's battling with Matt Marsh at the moment. So Zach Oates is your leader, Connor Kearney in second, then Lane, Richardson, Louis Harvey, Scott Smith, James Morley, Ben Cox in front of Marsh, Whitaker, Bennett and Mackie, and then it is Hodgkiss in front of Tezeo.
Race leader Zach Oates, 6/10 clear, and 6/10 a lap clear at the moment, 6/10 quicker than the man behind him. Connor Kearney started P3, now running P2. It's the 11 kart, Spencer Lane.
He made up the place as well after a disappointing start for Oliver Richardson. Look at the differences in lines that drivers are taking. Obviously, it's down to natural feel, and it changes every lap, because as you can see, it's not actually raining, but there is water on the circuit, but again, not enough to throw up spray. So it's that fine line between dry and wet, and it's the worst conditions any kart racer anywhere in the world can deal with, because every lap the circuit is changing.
Weather forecast was for a bit of a drizzle between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's been drizzling on and off most of the afternoon since the final started, so we've got changing conditions throughout.
It's coming up to 4:30 local time here as well, so that's not the easiest of situations to predict in terms of how the weather is going to play out. So this is a very tricky race for everybody. Kean Bennett, by the way, has made the move there on Dale Whitaker, I spotted. And Mackie and Hodgkiss having a great battle with Tezeo Johnson and Caelan Lamont, with Jasmine Bullock and Charlie Gaillard, who has got going again, down to 18th position. You never know what can happen. He may be 11 seconds off the back of the field. But this is Kimbolton. It's the TKM Elite Junior Festival final. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Absolutely. The prime movers are Kean Bennett and Lewis Mackie down there in 10th and 12th respectively. They've both made up 7 places. Talking about making up places, was that the 38, 39?
39, it's Matt Marsh.
39 making up a move.
And he's having a great battle with Ben Cox. That's for P8 at the moment. Look at how they have to tank slap. They come down the straight on the inside line, then up to the braking zone. They charge across to the left side of the circuit and then charging it in again on the steering to the right. It's a very strange racing line, but it works the best here at Kim Bolton, because once you've got water down on the circuit, obviously that tight inside line close to the inside line for the straight is basically rubber free, because the racing line is close to the pit wall in the dry, so that's where all the rubber is. So you've got to stay away from it on the main straight, otherwise you could just be slipping and sliding in a straight line. That's why you see a lot of drivers, they'll move across, look, to the inside line, then they cut across back to the optimum line to get through the next corner. But it's a massively risky situation because the racing line is still technically there, but you're crossing over it in the braking zone. It's very tricky technically.
I know Martin Brundle in the Formula 1 commentary often talks about the karting line being around the outside of the corner. It's difficult to appreciate, guys, if you don't do karting or you've never walked on a track with a normal pair of training shoes on. If you walk in these conditions on the line where the rubber is, it's like walking on an ice rink, and that's why they're looking to go around the outside of the corner to get off the rubber, find some grip.
Ever since we've started doing this, it's now one of my common rituals of a race weekend. I will always try and walk the circuit before the races get underway. You learn a heck of a lot by going it on foot to understand what the circuit's actually doing. Now a late lunge there from Scott Smith. He doesn't quite get the move on Louis Harvey, because Harvey's got that optimum wet line around the outside, and the Klassen Motorsport driver hanging it out nicely. Is up the inside, that was James Morley getting his run on the inside of Smith, and he's there. So he's made the move on the Beryl chassis and gets through into position. No problem at all. But Louis Harvey, as a result of their little squabble, has built up a couple of kart lengths. But the Talcos are way out in front. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Louis Harvey on the Klassen Motorsport machine in 5th position. The best of the rest at the moment.
Zach Oates has been on fire this weekend. He was one of Graham Butterworth's pick when I interviewed Graham at the beginning of the show early this morning. He mentioned Zach Oates. He's doing the 2 classes, of course. He's doing the elite class here, and he's doing the O-plate later on. He's trying to do the double, the only person in history to achieve that. I'll be pulling a couple of years ago, of course. Zach trying to do that, and then other drivers doing it as well. Oliver Richardson doing both classes, so they're trying to do the double. Very, very difficult in a field of high quality talent.
I remember that 2017 season when she pulled off the double, and then last year, of course, it was Richie Dewey who came in first time he'd ever been on a junior TKM at all, and came through and won the O-plate.
And he's here this weekend doing it again, trying to retain it, which is great to see.
So Zach Oates in front of Connor Kearney, Oliver Richardson and Spencer Lane, then Louis Harvey in front of James Morley, Smith, Marsh, Cox and Cian Bennett in the top 10 from Dale Whittaker and Lewis Mackey. Great battles all the way through. Louis Harvey again trying to hold on in front of James Morley. Scott Smith very close in behind as well. So these 3 tussling for 5th position. It's looking fairly processional actually for the junior TKM final up in front, because Oates has about 2 seconds on Kearney, who's about 0.6 of a second in front of Oliver Richardson. Spencer Lane just can't run with them. Those 4 are just running uniformly in position. Very rare for a junior TKM elite final, although as this race wears down, we're going to start seeing Oliver Richardson really start to knock on the door of Connor Kearney, and Kearney's starting to lose a little bit of ground as he gets himself a little bit more momentum through each of these slower corners. And now we're going to see Zach Oates stretch out the advantage further, but Connor Kearney is going to come under some pressure from his teammate, of course, Oliver Richardson.
They're braking on the inside. See where they're braking on the inside, because obviously the normal line coming down into that corner is on the outside. That'll be where the rubber is.
Oh no, James Morley is the latest one to be given a front fairing penalty. You can actually see it as he comes around the 77 in behind Louis Harvey. Look at the front fairing when you get an opportunity. The marshals have already spotted that is potentially loose.
It's on those of you that don't follow karting or not in karting, there's a bracket on the front, and you can see, look at that kart there, the 7, Louis Harvey, has he got a penalty? Looks like the bracket's fairly low down. This is an interesting look at how to drive in the wet, Jake. Watch what he does here as he turns the wheel. Turn the wheel there, leans forward, he's transferring the weight over the front wheels. That is a perfect example of how to drive in the wet. If you're looking to get grip on the front end, as you turn the wheel, you throw your body weight forward, it puts weight over the front wheels and it enables the front wheels to grip, and that is a perfect example by Louis Harvey there of how to drive in wet conditions.
I'm going to try that the next time I go down to a kart circuit. It might actually help. I mean, I've got the weight to get downforce on the circuit. That technique might actually improve my lap times a bit. I'm going to try it. Good stuff.
So that is what you do in the wet. If you want, you transfer the weight over the front wheels, and especially if you feel that the front wheels aren't quite gripping as you would like, throw your weight forward as you come into the turn, as you turn the wheel, and that will give put the weight over the front wheels and give you more grip on the front end of the kart.
Fascinating to watch the differences of opinion in Conor Kearney and Oliver Richardson's driving style at the moment, because they're choosing to go very, very different lines on the way through. Watch, you've got Conor Kearney, he cuts across, but then look, he charges slightly earlier on the apex and then drifts out wide on the throttle, whereas Oliver Richardson's a little bit more cautious. He just allows the momentum of the kart to carry him through, and then he places his foot back onto the throttle a little bit less aggressively, but it steadies the motion of the kart. And it's fascinating, two different drivers battling for position on the same equipment with different interpretations of how to go about it. And in terms of pace, there's not much to choose between them, so it is personal preference about how you get that feel. Look, you can see it again, just a slightly differing opinion. Conor Kearney is all physicality, Oliver Richardson a much smoother approach.
Slightly different setup on the karts as well, because you can see the 5 kart has more of a inside rear wheel lift than Richardson's kart. Sometimes it's down to the driver feel, the driver style, but again, it's how you set the kart up in the conditions. 2 minutes on the clock. Zach Oates 0.3 of a second quicker than Kearney, by the way, as Richardson goes second.
Yeah, Richardson up into second position, so he's made the move there. He must have done that in the final turn in Kimbolton, because he didn't quite have the momentum in Kestrel from what I could see. So he must have found a way through. Now,
Spencer Lane getting closer to these two, Jake, as well.
I was just going to say.
He fancies a podium, Spencer Lane. He's looking at these thinking, yeah, you guys keep battling. I'm just going to whittle down this lead you've got and nip up the inside in the last few laps and get myself a podium spot.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Spencer Lane's been actually very sensible
and
about
he's just set the purple sector in sector 1. He's doing that, Jake, because he's got these two in front to feed off. He's feeding off their pace. He can brake based on where they're braking and adjust his pace, and he's the fastest man there in the first sector.
Well, that's it. He's spent the last 10 minutes effectively just looking after his tyres, looking after his brakes. He doesn't have to push too hard because he's just observing what they're doing, imitating it to a degree, but just keeping the kart in check. These two are pushing because they're having a fight and battling for second position. They're wearing out the tyres, wearing out the brakes. They're pushing hard. But Spencer Lane's actually been very sensible about this. He's getting onto the back of them, and he's made them do all the hard work. And now he's in tow just naturally for the progression of the race, and he's got fresher tyres to cope with now. Spencer Lane definitely with a good chance of P2.
Scott Smith in 7th, set the fastest sector time in sector 2 on that last lap as well. So although he's in 7th, he's obviously got some pace.
And Louis Harvey has as well. He's just gone purple in the first sector on this lap. So Louis Harvey trying to get away from Morley and Scott Smith. He's responded with a very strong run there as they come through, and he's very competitive, personal best in sector 2. So obviously as the rain is drying out, they're starting to get a little bit more pace out of the car, but of course they're still all on wet tyres and there's no spray, so there's not enough water to grip into the treads. So it's all about feel. You've got to try and learn how the circuit is changing by feeling your way around. And these are split-second decisions these drivers are having to make on how to get back on the power, when to turn in, when to transfer the weight, everything. It's so intuitive. It's an incredibly intelligent sport, this. To find out more about it, abkc.org.uk. You can find your local karting circuit, your local club, and get into the sport. It really is an amazing discipline of racing.
I always say, Jake, there will be a kart circuit near you you've never heard of. I live 40 miles away from Three Sisters in Wigan and never knew it was there till I was over 40 years of age.
To be fair, when I was a kid growing up, I had no idea I was so close to either Wright House or Buttmore Park growing up. I just happened to be there. It was only when I flicked on the television and Buttmore Park was on my screen. That's how I learnt about how close it was. So again, you never know until you actually get online and figure out which is your nearest one. There's amazing crop of race circuits across the country, including this one, of course, which has given us such history. But this man, Zach Oates, this is
masterclass of driving
Yeah,
in these difficult conditions. You can see there are dry patches, it's damp around about.
That's Lewis Mackie.
That's the battle for 12th.
Yeah, that's Alex Tezeo trying to come through, but Lewis Mackie just doing what he needs to do to bring it home. But as you say, Alan, this is absolutely textbook.
Quality drive by Zach Oates. Has a big look behind him. Where are you guys? You're nowhere. I just need to keep it on the track. Comfortable victory for Zach Oates, the English champion. Front fairing penalties, Jake.
Yeah, problems unfortunately for Callan Lamont, for Alex Tezeo and for James Morley, but not for this man out front. Zach Oates is victorious and dominant, and that's what it means to him. This is such a big race for a young driver to win, and for Zach Oates, he is the Elite Grand Final Junior TKM Festival winner. Amazing job. Zach Oates is your winner from Oliver Richardson and Connor Kearney.
Oliver Richardson's got a post-race scrutineering penalty, Jake. He's got a technical non-compliance for a minor technical issue, and it's knocked him out of second.
So that's Kearney to second from Spencer Lane and Louis Harvey. Scott Smith is in 5th position, and Matt Marsh rounds out the top 6. But the day belongs to Zach Oates.
So, Spencer, you've actually gained 3rd place because of a problem for Oliver Richardson.
Yeah.
I know it was a very hard-fought race in the difficult conditions.
Yeah, it was a good race overall and a good weekend with consistent results throughout the whole through all the heats, and wasn't expecting 3rd, but yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah. Connie, I mean, you've been in this battle with this lot all weekend long. Obviously, the final gave just completely different conditions, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate for Ollie, obviously, but it happens, doesn't it? And you know, I've had 3 months off, so it's quite nice coming back and getting a podium straight away. So, yeah, couldn't really go better.
Good competitive weekend. So well done, and unfortunate that Zach Oates not able to be with us at the moment, but we'll see if we can talk to him later. Thanks, guys.
TKM Extreme for Seniors is up next, and with Stephen Letts and Adam Sparrow on the front row, action is guaranteed.